It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in the neighborhood with you. So let's make the best of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor? Hello, neighbor.
When I was a kid growing up, I used to watch PBS a lot. Interesting shows. I used to love watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And I thought in those days that he had that house kind of like secretly, you know. I didn't think anybody knew about that house except for the neighbors that lived there, like Mr. McFeely. I thought that he would get into a fight with his wife, and then he'd go to that house to get away from her for a while. And then when he'd get over the fight, he'd go back home. The other show that I enjoyed was Zoom, which was, I think, taped in Boston. And I used to watch that a lot. And then we had the Electric Company. And then we had things like Maggie. Maggie was on Channel 2, which was PBS, and she had like a little fitness show. She would teach people how to do like exercises and aerobics and things like that. I used to watch that all the time. And then there was another show where it was like a fat guy with a bunch of kids, and they'd go into the woods and they'd chop trees down and they would make stools out of the stumps. There was another show with a room and weird furniture inside, boxes and things like that, and the people in that room would climb on the boxes, and there was kind of like strange music playing in the background. Speaking of music, in between shows they would have like an image of something, maybe a kid with a big head or something and a little body, and there'd be like some kind of weird piano playing, and then they had other designs and stuff, and kind of like jazzy music playing in the background. Of course, the Electric Company was another good show. I used to watch that a lot. Sesame Street. I remember one time when I was a kid, I got my father to get in the car and drive around. We were looking for Sesame Street, you know, as if it were a real place. We're trying to find this place called Sesame Street, asking around where's Sesame Street. Yeah. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff in those days. I wish that they would release like a DVD or something of entire days of what was being played on Channel 2 PBS in those years. You know, because I'd like to see that.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in the neighborhood with you. So let's make the best of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, could you be mine? Would you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please, please won't you be my neighbor? Goodbye, neighbor.